A short tutorial on how to cut a free pant. So first of all, what I did was to fold my fabric into two. This time I'm just cutting the front, and the lines I have include the waistline, my hip line, crotch depth, the full length, and the allowance for folding. So next step I took was to divide my hip measurement into two and then mark. My hip measurement divided by 4 is going to give me 8, but I added extra 2 inches so that it will be very free on my body. And next thing I did was to also apply the same thing on my crotch depth. Now distance between my hip line and my crotch depth is 2 inches. Now how I got all my vertical measurements is that I minus 2 inches, then went ahead to mark all my vertical measurements. The reason being that I'll be needing 2 inches band. So the next process I took was to mark 2.5 inches on my crotch depth. Then I went ahead to connect what I have. Then the next thing is to measure my round thigh, of which what I have was 21 inches, and when divided by 2 is going to give me 10.5. So I marked the 10.5. The next process I took was to come out by 1 inch on my waistline. At this point, I didn't know that my camera wasn't capturing this part, but I also came out by 1 inch on the full length. This is to get a hip shape, so I connected the two together. Now next is to work on our waistline. My waist measurement divided by 4 is going to give me around 6.5 inches, but I won't be putting that. I'll be marking what I have on my hip line. Reason being that I'll be attaching a band to it, which also has elastic. So I went ahead to connect what I have together. Now next is to remeasure what I have at my round knee, and I replaced the 1 inch that I came in with. I replaced it back so that I will still have my exact measurement. And this is it for the front cutting. Now it's time to cut what we have. Now for the back, what I did was to fold in another fabric, leaving at least 3 inches at the front. Then as for the hip side, there was no allowance added. So at the crotch depth, I came out by 2 inches, and on my hip line I also came out by 2 inches. Then waistline I came out by 1 inch. Then connect the 3 dots together. Now next thing I did was to come up by 1 inch from the back waistline, and I connected it back to the front waistline. So I did this slantly, so this part wasn't capturing to show you guys how I connected it to the front, and I'm so sorry about that. Now next thing I did was to also come out by 2 inches at the round thigh. And I also connect it together. And this is all for cutting off a free short pant. So guys, see you all in my next one. Bye.